Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the second PC that we're checking out in that lot of 4 junk ones that were dropped off. And as you can see, this one's pretty grungy. I got the side panel off, it was just as grungy. Take a look at the front, you can see how dirty this thing is. There's a CD-ROM, 1.44 floppy. Intel's got a Pentium inside. It was made for Windows 95. Power reset button. Some weird, I don't know what these are on the plastic here, but they seem to be like flaws in the plastic itself. This is a Micron PC, a home MPC. And let's take a little tour of the inside. Alright, pretty standard in here. CD-ROM, floppy drive, hard drive's mounted in the front here, and I believe this is a Western Digital. Looks like Western Digital Caviar. I got a rear-mounted fan right below the power supply. The power supply looks pretty fucking grungy. But anyways, a socket 7 CPU with interesting looking little passive cooler on it. 4 EDO slots with just, it looks like a mix of different memory. Here we've got a VGA card in a PCI slot. And it looks like it is an S3 Virge graphics decelerator. Creative ISA sound card, and then some big giant ISA modem. This has 3 ISA slots and 4 PCI slots. So that's a quick look at the inside. So we're gonna power this on and try to figure out what's in this ancient thing. Alright, so I've got the old CRT hooked up to it. I've got a PS2 keyboard and mouse hooked up to it. And I also have a MS-DOS floppy in here, so we want to check the floppy and the optical drive and see if they work. Okay, F1 for setup. Alright, it shows our Western Digital hard drive, or Hitachi CD-ROM. And RAM looks like 16 megabytes of RAM. Obviously the battery is, obviously the CMOS battery is bad. Okay, press F1 again for setup. Oh, there we go, right to the setup screen. January 1st, 1990, yeah, that's a little off. 30 years off. Alright, let's go under advanced. Alright, Pentium 166. 256 kilobytes of cache. Alright. Looks like there's 4 slots are filled with the memory, but it looks like it's saying bank 1 has none installed. So we'll have to take a look at the memory, see what's up with that. Alright. That's pretty much all I want to see in here. Let's see if this thing will actually load Windows. Escape to boot. Interesting username. I don't know. And this one has a fucking password on it. I have no idea where to begin. Hold on 1 second. I gotta restart this. Alright, so as you see, it does read the floppy, and this is a MS-DOS setup disk. So we're not going to install DOS on here. I think what I'm going to do is just get a Windows 98 boot disk, and we'll put Windows 98 on here. But at least I know, it works. It wants to load Windows, but there's a password. The floppy drive works, and I have to assume this works. It may not. I don't know yet, but we'll find out. But I think before I do anything, being that we know all that works, I think it's time to just take this apart and get everything cleaned up, because you see, I mean, she's grungy. I mean, I've seen far worse, but this one isn't good. So yeah, we're gonna get it all apart, cleaned up. We'll put it back together, and then we'll get windows loaded on it. All right, we got everything disassembled here. Even all the plastic components are on here, and they're getting washed separately. You can hear a closer look at our motherboard. Power supply, U.S. Power Technologies, made in Taiwan. There's our Western Digital Caviar drive, floppy drive, CD-ROMs down there. 2 sticks of EDO, that big ass modem. Not sure the make on that one. Okay, it's a Supra. Looks like 288i. A Supra. And this is our Diamond Stealth 3D 2000 S3 Virge graphics decelerator, as they've been known to be called. Our Pentium 166 CPU, and this interesting passive cooler, which I kind of like. I kind of think that's cool. And our ISA Sound Blaster 16 sound card. And a few cables and, you know, other bits and pieces here and there. But yeah, we're gonna get this all cleaned up. We'll put it back together, and then we'll come back and see if everything works the way it's supposed to. Alright, taking a quick look at the inside, all cleaned up here. This thing was completely disassembled. You know, every part was taken out and cleaned up. And you can see we have all our EDO installed in here. There's 24 megabytes total. There's that cool little passive cooler for the Pentium 166. And there's our S3 Virge and our Sound Blaster and the modem. I just installed the modem back in there. And we also have a this is a PCI USB card that I installed in here just so I'd have some USB. And this is probably going to come back out, but it's installed in here temporarily just so I could, you know, transfer some drivers and stuff to here a lot easier. So yeah, that worked out really well. And there's all our cables tucked up over here. And a hard drive mounted again on the front. We'll get the side panel on here and we'll take a good look at the outside of this and see how well it cleaned up. Alright, so here's a shot at the front. You see the CD-ROM and the blanks. And then your floppy. And you can see the front of it actually cleaned up really nice on here. And let's take a look at the right side of it. And you can see there's a couple of scuffs on here, and I could probably scrub on this a little bit more to get them out. But you know, compared to what it was, I mean, this thing cleaned up really, really nice. Spin around to the back. You can see no more dust and crap in here. And I did pull out the USB card, put the blanking plates back in. And let's take a look at the left side of it. And like I said, there are a couple of scuffs on it still, but overall, I mean, it cleaned up way better than I thought it would. One thing I did notice is, I don't know if this will show on camera, as you can see, this is yellowed more than this side panel for some reason. And I'm not sure why that would be. But yeah, this thing cleaned up beautifully. And it works incredibly well. Alright guys, you can hear how loud the fan is in this thing, that rear exhaust fan. But as you see, we got Windows 98 2nd Edition installed. The Intel 166 processor. I did dig through my EDO and managed to come up with 24 megabytes of RAM to install in here. And you can see we've got a 2 gigabyte hard drive, which, you know, it doesn't sound like a lot, but there's, you can see there's only 300 megabytes used installing this, 920 megabytes still free. And we've got, of course, our floppy drive and optical drive, which is just a CD-ROM. Alright guys, I hope everybody's staying safe out there, and I hope you found this interesting, and we will see you on the next one.